Hi, this is Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to take a minute to just clear out any negative energy before we get started. This is my Dragon's Blood Sage, which I use to honor the dragon realm who protects me, my children, my grandchildren, and the people that I love. Thank you also to those who embody the spirit of the Knights of the Templar who are also protecting my loved ones. It is honored to be a sacred vessel that is getting to used at this very important time by the divine to be able to help anchor in the Lemurian light codes with my fellow Pleiades starseeds. Thank you to my ascended masters that are always working diligently to make sure that the messages that I'm delivering to you are of the most white light and anchoring in the transmissions that you need to hear for your highest good. Let me take some Palo Santo, pull in some more of that positive energy. Thank you to the cosmic beings who are out there as light workers and shadow workers and grid workers, and we are everywhere and yet nowhere, right? Sometimes we can be seen, other times we feel very invisible. So thank you for finding my tribe online so you know that you're not alone. And let's go ahead and bless this sacred space. To the winds of the south, the great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past the way that you shed your skin, to walk softly on the earth, and to teach us the beauty way. To the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, protect our medicine space. Teach us the way of peace, how to live impeccably, to show us the way beyond death. To the winds of the north, hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient ones, we invite you to whisper to us in the wind as you come and warm your hands by our fires. We honor you who have come before us and you who will come after us, our children's children. To winds of the east, great eagle condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Keep us under your wing and teach us. Show us the mountains we only dare to dream of, and help us to fly wing to wing with great spirit. Mother Earth, we've gathered for the healing of all your children, the stone people, the plant people, four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlers, the finned, the furred, and the winged ones, all our relations. Father, Sun, Grandmother, Moon, and to the star nations, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names, and yet you are the unnameable one. Thank you for bringing us together and allowing us to sing this song of life. So grateful that you're here with me. I'm going to do a little deep dive into the NIV Celebrate Recovery Study Bible. This one, the foreword is by Rick Warren, and the editor is John Baker. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about Principle 1. Realizing I'm not God. You're not God. None of us are God. We are reflections of God, but we are not the source of life. And I admit that I am powerless to control my tendency to do the wrong thing and that my life is unmanageable. Blessed are the poor in the spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:3. Our amazing recovery journey starts with Principle 1. This is where we admit that we are powerless to control our hurts, hang-ups, and the habits that our lives have become unmanageable, and out of control. But before we begin this exciting adventure, we need to ask ourselves the following 2 questions. Are we wearing a mask of denial? Over what do we really have control? So let's look at that first question. Are we wearing a mask of denial? Before we can make any progress in our recovery, we need to face our denial. And as soon as we remove our mask, our recovery begins. Or begins again. It doesn't matter whether we're new in recovery or we've been in the process and working the principles and the steps for years. Denial can rear its ugly head and return at any time. We may trade addictions or get into a new relationship that's unhealthy for us in a different way than the previous one. So God says in Jeremiah 6:14, "Thy dress the wound of my people as though it were not serious. Peace, peace, they say, and then there is no peace." Denial is serious. We can't heal our wounds, hurts, hang-ups, and habits by pretending that they're not there. Following are the 6 negative effects of denial and what it has on our lives. So we're going to take the word denial. D. Desirables are feelings. 2 Peter 2:19. E. Energy drain. Psalm 146:7-8. N. Negates our growth. Psalms 107:13-14. I. Isolates us from God. Genesis 3:7-8. A. Alienates us from other human relationships. Ephesians 4:25. And L. Lengthens our pain. Jeremiah 30:17. So the word that I want you to focus on for this is denial. Looking at yourself in that divine reflection, look in that mirror, find out where are your roadblocks? Where are you denying? So as we start working on this principle and admit that we're powerless, we begin to change. We see that our old ways of trying to control our hurts, hang-ups, and habits didn't work. Our attempts were buried by our denial, and our problems were held close by our false sense of power. This leads us to the second question that we need to answer. Over what do we really have control? In Principle 1, we recognize our need to admit our powerlessness. Our lust for the power to control is rooted in our weaknesses, not in our strengths. We need to realize our human weaknesses and turn our lives over to God. Jesus knew this would be difficult. How difficult? He said this about the related issue, but it applies here as well. With man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. The following acrostic demonstrates what happens when we admit, and here's your other word, that we are powerless. We begin to let go of the following serenity robbers. So P. Pride. Proverbs 29:23. O. Only ifs. Luke 12:2-3. W. Worrying. Matthew 6:34. E. Escape. Ephesians 5:13-14. R. Resentment. Ephesians 4:26-27. L. Loneliness. Hebrews 13:1-2. E. Emptiness. John 10:10. S. Selfishness. Luke 17:33. And S for separation. Romans 8:38-39. So the other key word for this lesson would be powerlessness. Powerless. The power to change comes only from God's grace. The principle 1, we start working and living this program in earnest. When we admit we're powerless, we go on to recognize that we need a power that is greater than ourselves to restore us. That power is the one and only true high power, Jesus Christ. Hebrews 12:1 invites us, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with the perseverance the race marked out for us." This verse spells out the two important insights that we begin our recovery journey. First, God has a particular race, a unique plan for each of us. A plan for good, not a life consumed with dependencies, addictions, and obsessions. The second thing is that we need to be willing to get rid of all unnecessary baggage, our hurts, hang-ups, and habits in our lives that keep us stuck. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Working through the 8 principles will allow us to discover God's plan and purpose for our lives. The journey begins by taking that first step. The first step of the Christ-centered 12 steps relates to principle 1. Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over our addictions and compulsive behaviors, and that our lives have been unmanageable. I know that good itself does not dwell in me, that is, in my sinful nature, for I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. Romans 7:18. Principle 1, prayer. Dear God, your word tells me that I can't heal my hurts, hang-ups, and habits just by saying they're not there. Help me. Parts of my life, all of my life, are out of control. I know now that I can't fix myself. It seems that the harder I try to do the right thing, the more I struggle. Lord, I want to step out of my denial into the truth. I pray for you to show me the way. In your Son's name, amen. So principle 1, you can go through lessons, because again, I would hope that you would be taking what I'm sharing with you and create your own little support group, community group of you and your friends to be able to work through life together. So for the word denial, you can go to 2 Peter 2:19. In this particular book, that would be page 1554. And the powerless, you can go to Proverbs 29:23, which is page 777. Lucky sevens. All right, let's go ahead and stop there with a couple of oracle messages. The first one we're going to take from the Mystical Shaman Pocket Oracle. You can give me one message, Spirit. I would appreciate that. Ooh, there we go. Ooh, the Seer. This one is card 45. So let's see what we got for the Seer. The essence says, the Seer represents the capacity to reach beyond the obvious details of life into the hidden realms where information is available to those with the discernment to perceive it. This symbol represents psychic perception, intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure. The seer knows truth, always seeks truth beyond all else, and sees reality as it truly is without judgment. The seer can read between the lines and understand what is not being said. He represents the power of clarity and being able to recognize patterns. So the invitation is the seer invites you to trust your intuition and follow it as it leads you forward. You may feel lost when it appears that your hunch is taking you in circles or even through a maze, but the hidden realms don't follow the rules of the two-dimensional map. So trust your gut and allow your perception of your circumstances to widen to include the nuances and subtle cues that you normally miss if you make things at take things at face value. The seer has gifted you with his magic. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and your vision is clear. The medicine. The seer has arrived now to challenge you to get out of denial and begin telling yourself the truth about your situation. Wishful thinking will not make what you desire happen when you're refusing to see the things as they are. The truth may hurt, but it will set you free to claim the bounty that is waiting for you to notice it. This is a moment of true power. The seer offers you his medicine. When you are ready, surrender your vision to Spirit and ask to be shown the truth, no matter the price. Once you do so, your eyes will open and you will receive a powerful gift. Okay, next we're going to take a message from the Alice, the Wonderland Oracle. Flip these around. Okay. So go ahead, Spirit. Give us one message that we need. There we go, right off the top. This one is card number 9, Curiouser and Curiouser. That's one of my favorite quotes. Very interesting is another one. You are undergoing new experiences, and this creates an expansive sense of possibility. This can seem quite uncomfortable and strange, but you are changing, growing, developing, and discovering too. So do not fret at the discomfort. Try to stay with the wonder of the newness all about you. Open up, reach out, and extend yourself to grow. And if you are here, I know that you are one of my kind who understands that life is a never-ending series of learning experiences. So, you know, we can dread the future, the unknown, or we can just embrace that, okay, sometimes it's going to be a kick in the butt, and sometimes it'll be a boost to get you where you need to be. So it's all about perception. All right, now let's take a final message from the Starseeds Wisdom for Spiritual Growth. Give me one message to wrap up this session. Thank you again, Spirit, for all of the guidance that you're giving the collective at this time so they can make progress not only for humanity but for our individual selves. Ooh, channel. You are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. So what you admire in me is in you. And what I admire in you is also in me. That's the power of one. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and I look forward to talking with you in the next video. Have a blessed day.